Hello everyone, welcome back. Silver one for you today, slightly different as well. We're all used to seeing bars and coins all being stacked, and we're also used to seeing old bits of silver like this, all marked and so on, ready for either melting down if it's scrap or just for hanging on because it's a bit of an interest. But there's another area that some people haven't quite cottoned on to, and I'm a bit iffy about really saying anything about it. The area I want to cover is war medals. Now, most medals that are issued by the British, by the MOD, are copper nickel, cupro nickel, that sort of setup. This particular one is the First World War British War Medal, the BWM. That disc is silver, 92.5% to be precise. Bit of a history lesson as well. Just if we can get one out so we can have a closer look at it. Now, as you might have guessed, I do also collect militaria. I've mentioned it in some of my other videos in the past about liking wartime coins and that sort of thing. I also like my First World War stuff as well in particular. So this particular one is a British War Medal to Stoker First Class Turner of the Navy. That one is Second Airman W.O. Cool of the Royal Flying Corps. So it predates the RAF, that one. Now, what I'm dubious and I'm not too keen on really saying too much about is the fact that yes, these are silver. Yes, they are 92.5%, but they're also named. I don't know if you can make that out. Now, since the First World War, medals don't tend to be named unless they are particular campaign medals, like the General Service Medal and Long Service Medals, that sort of thing. Second World War medals, as a matter of point, were not named. They weren't engraved, so the individual tended to do that. Other countries within the Commonwealth, they did. The Australians for one, South Africa for another. They tended to have names around the edges. South Africans tended to follow us. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. As you can tell, I love my military stuff as well. Now, with these, the reason I'm showing these medals is just to bring a bit of awareness in, because we're used to seeing the silver price as it is today. Now, I'm going to be trying my best just to use UK prices at the moment. It's around about £24.50, £24.70-ish an ounce. Now, that doesn't sound a lot when you compare it to the likes of gold and so on. But looking back, I want to give you guys a quick history lesson. In the 80s, the very early 80s, I'm going back to January 1980, silver prices soared to an all-time high. Now, at that point, I don't know what the UK equivalent was, but it went to $49 an ounce. And that was on the 18th of January. And that was because there's a couple of guys called the Hunt brothers. They attempted to corner the silver market. Now, on the 27th of March, it was known as Silver Thursday. Silver prices plummeted because the Hunt brothers scheme that they're trying to do to boost their values, it just collapsed, leading to a massive downturn in the market. So silver just suddenly went through the floor. So during the rest of the 1980s, silver started going down and down and down. And I've got some figures to show you as well. These represent the 1980 prices. Now, it doesn't show the exact high value, it just shows an average. And then 1981, you can see that it's still going down. So it went in effect from 13-14 pounds average by at the end of 81 down to less than £4. So that is a significant drop. At that point in time, and this is the reason I'm a bit iffy about saying anything, people like jewelers, because the market went through the roof, they had medals that people would hand in and say, I'm selling them, I want to get rid of them, this is silver, give me some money. At that point, what they were doing was going, yeah, no worries. And they'd be taking the medals, and usually it is in a ribbon bar, so you'd have a star, you'd have this one, and then you'd have the victory medal. And all they'd do is they'd run a pair of scissors across them, and these went into a bucket for melting down. And like I say, they are individually, uniquely named to individuals, which, from a collector's point of view, is worth more than the silver value. So that's what brings me on to the next point. The silver content, like I said, is 92.5%. The bar and the disc, they weigh 33 grams. So that's just over a troy ounce. But that bar is a base metal. So taking that out of the equation takes the disc down to about 29, maybe 30 grams. So you're still just under a troy ounce. I've got 33 of these. That's near enough a kilo of silver. But a kilo of silver might be one price, but the value of the coin times 33, or at least in its own right, individually, like this one is probably, silver value is probably around about 20 quid by current standards. But the medal itself, that would probably sell as a collectible item 30 quid, 35. That one, possibly a bit more because it's Royal Flying Corps. So there's more value in the medal than there is in the silver, which, to be honest, if you collect such things as bars, yeah, you pay 35 quid for that. The silver's only worth 24, so you're already paying over the price anyway. But if you do collect medals, war medals in particular, First World War era, hang on to them. They're actually worth more. I'm probably preaching to the choir, but they're worth more as a medal, not as a lump of silver. However, should the end of days come and the proverbial hits the fan and we need money and there's no such thing anymore as electronic currencies, whether it be using your bank card or your fancy crypto funny money, gold and silver will be where it's at. This is just under an ounce. So this could be worth, for sake of argument, 20, 25 quid as an exchange, as a barter, as whatever. So it's just something really to bear in mind. And like I said, I've got 33 of these. That's near enough a kilo. The good thing is as well, the average price over... Sorry about that. Camera went on the fritz for a moment then. What I was going to say was, with the average prices of silver generally holding where they are, if you collect medals, hang on to them. Don't do anything too crazy with them. Treat them as an item for collecting, not stacking. But overall, it's just a quick sort of heads up as other alternative means of gathering silver. Like I say, it hasn't got to be bars, hasn't got to be coins, Hasn't got to be bits of scrap metal and got silver like this. It can be pretty much anything that's silver, right down to your grandmother's silver cutlery. Just don't tell her. But there you go. Just a quick one for you. Not exactly a brilliant insight, but it's just another source to potentially stockpile, collect. But if you do decide to collect them just for the silver, please, please, please consider the actual collector. Don't wreck them, don't damage them, keep them as they are, even if it's without a piece of ribbon. Keep them safe. And above all, please do not clean them. The one on the right has never been cleaned, or at least not for the last 20, 25 years since I've had it. This one, exactly the same situation. It's not been cleaned, at least not by me, but you can see that it's been touched up at some point. But the medals themselves, they belonged to, I'm going to say, brave men. They were brave. They did stuff that we would never do. Anyway, getting off my high horse. Silver medals, silver coins, silver bars, trinkets. They all hold silver, they all hold some form of value, and we must look after them the best we can. So, until the next time, folks, hopefully you enjoyed that one, even if it was a bit on the disjointed side. If you did, please consider a like. Maybe leave a comment if you're a collector as well of militaria. And think about maybe clicking that subscribe button and the share button. That would be a bigger bonus. Until the next time, I'll catch you then. Cheers, folks. Bye.